So you saw the announcement from LSU that the spring game this year will be played at A.W. Mumford Stadium on Southern's campus. How did that all come about? Let's find out. Southern AD Roman Banks, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. Coach, always a pleasure. Old habits die hard. I'm still going to call you Coach. How are you?
Doing well, man. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Okay, so let's do the who, what, where, when, why, how. Let's start with the when. When did LSU first contact you all about this possibility?
Well, for us, I'm pretty sure they probably touch other places, but, we've been in a conversation with them for about over a month now as it relates to they're going to be working on their facilities and thought this would be a good place for them to host their spring game and thought it would be a chance for both universities to come together and create an opportunity for the city of Baton Rouge.
So about a month. What were some of the conversations about logistics and potential hurdles that had to be worked through?
Well, first thing, man, we still got logistics to go over, but we just confirming it because of the waiver and all the paperwork that had to be sent in to the NCAA to get this approved. And so that has led us to the next phase. And so this is an approved event for April the 18th. And my team and their administration team will start working together to now go into logistics for the game.
Okay, so specifically with the NCAA, we know Michigan kind of screwed up this whole deal, right? Because they went to Spain and Italy and all kind of stuff, and so the NCAA said, hey, no more traveling for spring games. So what goes into the application for this game moving to Southern?
Well, the waiver process is the real deal. I mean, obviously LSU had to file the waiver, and they had to prove that they needed another facility to host a spring game, that they facility wouldn't be conducive for the safety of the student athletes and fans.
So, do you know how long that process took?
Being that I don't know when they first originated, but obviously I can't help but to say probably about 2 weeks or so.
Okay. Roman Banks is our guest, Southern AD at Coach Banks _SU on Twitter if you want to give a follow there. So we know March 18th.
Yes.
Between now and that game, what are the logistics that need to be worked out?
Okay, so obviously this is, I'm sure by contract, the SEC, games are most of their scrimmage games are live on TV, and so that's something that we have to carve out. We want to carve out the opportunity time where Southern University will be doing their scrimmage probably on the morning, probably about say 9 in the morning, and then LSU probably come, after 12 and do their scrimmage. And so there are two teams that has to go out and play, and for the coaches to be comfortable with their evaluations. And there are events that we want to put around this game, these ancillary events, that's going to cause for the city to be involved as well. I've spoken with Mayor Broom and her team of folks as well. And so Southern administration, LSU administration, we want to make this an outreach for the community. I always say that athletics is a tool that can bring people together. And so I think at such times like these, this can be a beautiful tool to bring two of the top universities. Obviously, LSU, the flagship school, and we probably the flagship school in the state. We the flagship school in our conference. That we can bring these two great alumni bodies together and have a good time and enjoy sports together.
Another cool thing is a lot of kids on the LSU team that prepped in Baton Rouge played a lot of prep games at Mumford, so they'll get a chance to go back. Now, you did say that Southern is going to play its spring game on the same day in the morning?
Yeah, Southern will have a control scrimmage that morning. And so these are logistics that we have to work out. And even speaking about that, we also want to get the two bands involved.
Okay.
And so, there's something time-wise and logistic-wise, and we still working, throwing out other scenarios. Would it be a light parade where they just perform, between the two times for the game where they perform together? So these are some talking points that we want to that both schools have to sit down and talk about. There'll be ancillary events. Are we going to bring both schools are known for tailgating, so we definitely want that that atmosphere to be festive and bring in different groups and bands. And so we're looking forward to have a good time. We want to make this event that will go down in history.
You mentioned TV as well? Does ESPN, the SEC network, do they have to be involved in these conversations as well?
They will from the LSU side for sure, and so therefore we will have to make sure that here at Mumford Stadium that my team of people have everything in place that LSU needs, and so we're going to be suggestive to that. We know there are certain things that they have to abide by the SEC rules, and so we're comfortable with that. And so they'll be having that conversation, and we'll be a part of that conversation because that is a service that we have to perform. And so, even all the way down from corporate sponsorships to,
Sure.
what commercials need to be played and all those type of things. So it's a lot of work we got to do between now and that April 18th date.
It's so true. You even think about just like signage in the stadium. Like, does LSU have to have its corporate sponsor signage in the stadium at Mumford? Do you know?
Yeah, I'm sure, that's the reason why, we have a nice video board where they can play, what they need to for their corporate sponsors on the video boards. And we have, the accommodation of suite areas that we can host them. And so our facilities, here, I think when a lot of people see our facilities, they'll be surprised if they have not been on our campus. But we feel like we're in a good place where we can host them. I mean, you got 2 games, so you talk about getting a trailer full of ice and all these things for cold tubs and all these things to happen. So, when it's not something that we take lightly. It's something that we have to work on, and we have a team of people working on it every day.
In a couple more minutes, Roman Banks, our guest, Southern Athletic Director, LSU and Southern will play their spring games on the same day at Mumford Stadium. To the best of your knowledge, have there ever been 2 games at Mumford Stadium on the same day?
Certainly not when you start talking about, collegiate level.
Yeah.
I'm almost about to say I don't know if that's been done a lot of places. And so when you start talking about 2 Division I programs, this can very well be the first for that to happen. This is not Brick. This is not the YMCA. These are 2 full-fledged Division I programs, that have to showcase themselves well. You'll have probably different recruits that's interested in both universities showing up. And I think, it's a good time for the 2 Coach O's to come together, and I'm pretty sure, we'll have some autograph sessions and things like that. So I think it's going to be a festive day. I think it can be a beautiful day for the city of Baton Rouge.
Is there, just for the sake of asking the question, will Southern incur an extra cost, or will LSU compensate Southern for that cost?
Well, Matt, these are the things that we have to sit down. Obviously they have costs that they were going to be in their stadium, and we have costs, and so we'll sit down and go through the details, and we'll try to make sure that both teams have what they need. I'm sure both universities have their budget, and so there will be costs without a doubt. I mean, you start talking about the things that you have to bring in, what you have to set up, but we hope to keep those to a minimum, and we are encouraging that we can have a good turnout of young people to come out and probably have some type of community walk or some type of, health fitness walk as well, as we get ready for this contest.
What about tickets for the event?
You're taking me fast here. We haven't got to that point yet. Obviously, all these are on our checklist that we have to go, that we have to peruse down the sheet. And I'm not even aware if LSU charged for their spring game or not. And so these are some things that we have to sit down and talk about. And we will have some specialty areas that will have cost on it. I know that's been discussed as well. Like
a premium area with alcohol or something like that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so all these things, what you're asking me, these are the things that we have to sit down and make sure we put the plan in place. And I really don't know all the LSU requests right now. So we look forward to our meeting next week so we can move forward.
Okay, so you'll meet next week and then start the ball rolling toward those logistics.
Yes, sir.
So what you're saying is I asked a lot of pertinent questions.
You right on the spot. If you go down my sheet and, our agenda for the meeting, you right on the spot. So I can tell you have an athletic mind.
Well, that maybe I'll come be your assistant one day if Gordy ever fires me over here.
Come on up. I look forward to seeing you on this campus. I don't know if you've been here in a while.
Of course I have. It's a beautiful place to be up on the bluff, man. It is a gem, and I look forward. I think it's going to be a great day for the city. I really do. So
yeah, I think so. I think people will be surprised. You know, you read some comments and people ask you questions, but you know, we all prepared. I mean, you know, safety is no problem. You know, we have, just like at LSU, they have state police, city police, and all those type of things. And so this is going to be a safe environment. It has always been a safe environment here for our football games and all our athletic contests. And so we're looking forward to having a grand day and getting the city of Baton Rouge and the mayor involved with it as well. And so we think we're gonna be a day that everybody can remember.
April the 18th, it'll be up there on the bluff at Mumford Stadium. Both LSU and Southern will play in that stadium on the same day. As we move along, I'm sure we'll reach out again to get the word out and get some more logistics, but we appreciate so much a couple of minutes today.
All right. Thank you a lot, Matt.